Hello and welcome to the Weird Around Illinois podcast. Today we're going to be talking about a trip we are preparing to take in the near future. It's the Holy Hill Basilica and Cemetery up in Wisconsin. It's like just northwest of Milwaukee. There is a rich history in this area of a lot of weird things going on. Some of this history goes back as far as the late 1800s. In 1870, there was a report of something called goatman. Half man, half goat. I don't know, the little more detail on that.
Yeah, apparently the most sightings in that time frame and also in the future, it was a hairy, like a very long-haired, like red hair kind of creature. I haven't seen really any details of height, but the story is that it nowadays if you come across it, it will come in front of your car and almost like scare you into driving off the roads.
Right. And it seems to prey on broken down travelers, either from accidents that it causes or people who just have natural breakdowns. And also, it says backroad lovers, so it's one of those lovers lane kind of myths where, when people go and park in the woods to be alone, suddenly Goatman shows up. But, unlike some of the other cryptids that we've talked about, Goatman seems to be particularly violent. I mean, he brutally mangles his victims and leaves their bodies swinging upside down in the trees. It's creepy.
Yeah, so if you come across it, do not get out of your car.
Right.
Yeah. And what you were saying about the lover's lane kind of thing, people have seen something called Hookman too. People have seen someone like scratching a hook on a window apparently somewhere around there.
Yeah, that seemed to be like the next phase of the Goatman legend. I think that happened in like the 1980s that Hookman started appearing, and it was your classic urban legend with the guy with a hook for a hand, and when people are parked in Lover's Lane, you see him come out of the tree line and scratch his hook across the car. And I think almost every area has a legend like that. And apparently this is the one for the Midwest. In addition to these two rather specific legends for the Holy Hill area, we also have our old friend Dogman, although they called him something different. In 2006, there was a sighting of something the papers called originally they called it a Yeti, but then they amended it to be a bearwolf. But by all descriptions, it matches what we call Dogman. So much so that Linda Godfrey even wrote about it on her website, and she documented sightings from 2004 to 2008 in the area. But one of the most famous cases was a contractor had picked up a dead deer on the side of the road, and this bearwolf slash dogman took the deer out of the back of his truck. And then, in addition to Dogman, we might be dealing with a Bigfoot. Is the BFRO, a Bigfoot Researchers Association or organization, has a couple reports in that area. Probably one of the most interesting one was a report of wood knocks near Low Lake in 2018. It's in the Edel Moraine State Park area. In addition to that, we've got some sort of a weird shadow creature that started popping up between 2014 and 2019. And this was like 4 feet tall, hairless, kind of grayish brown, runs around on its hind legs. Somebody close to Holy Hill claimed they were having a haunting, and when they delved into it further, they found it was a shadow creature, and it matched this description of this shadow creature that other people were seeing perfectly. Now, as we talk about shadow creatures, that brings us to ghosts. In the Art Farm area, just north of Holy Hill, I believe, there's been an interesting photo taken of a ghost on the edge of a field. We're going to have a lot of ground to cover when we go there. We're going to have to check out the Holy Hill Basilica, of course, and apparently it's open for tours and visits and stuff during the day. We have to at least go by the art farm and see if we can find that area where that scary picture was taken of the ghost. There's a cemetery up there too.
Yeah, it is known as Armalite Cemetery. It's kind of weird. I've been hearing like it's either just Holy Hill Cemetery or Carmelite Cemetery, but apparently that has a lot of sightings of like this weird mist that rolls in, and then it as it gets thicker, you start to notice that there's a humanoid form of a man sticking out of it, and people have said that that's more of a ghost sighting, but yeah, it's pretty mysterious.
I'm surprised they don't see like a dogman come out of it.
Yeah, that's something a dogman is related to. He could be popping out of there.
I'm not entirely sure that I haven't heard a story of a dogman popping out of that mist. I'm going to have to go back through some of our old dogman research, but I really remember something about a caretaker there seeing that mist form and then being chased by a wolf. I'm going to have to look into that.
Hmm.
There have also been sightings of this character called the Hermit of Holy Hill, who apparently had killed his girlfriend and then went to Holy Hill to seek forgiveness and still be seen. His ghost can still be seen wandering the grounds to this day.
Oh my.
Yeah. And speaking of people going to Holy Hill for healing, that is a kind of a thing that's central to the mythology. A lot of people believe that there's some sort of magical religious healing power in this site. Church, in the hill, a lot of people go there, just asking God or Mary to heal them for whatever ails them. So with all this darkness and evil that surrounds the place, there's also apparently this light side of it too. But in addition to the cemetery, we have Hogsback Road, which features all those wonderful road roaming killer creatures we talked about.
Yeah, now that is where Goatman is, and I want to point out that that's probably apparently it's a very dangerous road. It has a lot of dangerous turns and stuff. That's according to websites that I've seen, of course. But that's good to take into consideration.
Okay, we'll be driving slowly down Hogsback Road then. And then we've got the state park nearby with Low Lake, and that's an area where we've had those wood knocks for Bigfoot, and also it just looks like prime dogman territory from everything that I've seen. So I think that's one of those places that's worth taking a walk through just to kind of see what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of leads into our search methods. I mean, the ghost stuff, obviously we can bring our EMF detectors and we can maybe do some recordings and see if we can get any vocalizations from any of our recordings. But when we start looking for Bigfoot or Dogman or things like that, it's going to be the old stuff. We're going to be out walking through the woods, looking for tracks.
Cameras at all angles.
Yeah, cameras at all angles. As it starts to get dark, we'll use our night vision, and I'll use that cool infrared light of mine to see if we can pick up some eye shine. Apparently, one of the Bigfoot sightings out there was first seen by eye shine of something about 7 feet tall. And then, of course, the next most important thing for me, aside from finding ghosts and cryptids, is finding somewhere to eat. So I took a quick glance at the restaurants up there. Apparently the Fox and Hound is really popular. And I'm kind of curious to see if that's the same Fox and Hound they have down here in Illinois, which is really more of a bar that serves a little bit of food. But this one seems a bit more restaurant-y than that, so maybe it's not. There's another place called the Copper Dock, which sounded to me like it was going to be some kind of a really expensive seafood restaurant, but it turns out it's just a normal American restaurant. There's a place called the Holy Hills Cafe, which is actually in the Holy Hills Basilica complex. Apparently they have really short hours, so we'd have to rush to eat there before they close, but supposedly they're not too bad.
Huh.
And then I think I'd mentioned to you guys before that there was some place up there that was a build-your-own cookie place. But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did some further research, and unfortunately, it is closed.
Oh,
It's
crap.
close.
Yeah, I don't understand how a build-your-own cookie place could go out of business, but
I don't
it
know.
did.
Maybe another time we'll find one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think we've got plenty of things to see up there, plenty of things to look for. And by all means, if any of you listening to this have been to the Holy Hill area and had an experience of your own or heard about an experience, we'd love to hear your stories. Even if you know a great place to eat up there, we'd love to hear your stories. But my experience is you usually can't go wrong eating anywhere in Wisconsin. They take their food pretty seriously. But as always, thank you for listening to our podcast. Thank you for subscribing and telling your friends. And we will be talking to you again soon.